Welcome back, everybody, to the Even Your Dynasty show.
We just got breaking news in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Even Your Dynasty show. When I made the plans for this at 8:30, I was kind of expecting us to have like a little bit of in-game reactions, and they still fit a 10-inning game in before the show in 2.5 hours or whatever it was. So,
bro, you've been on it. You called the squeeze. You're gonna call the Wilmer walk, and you called the timing. Look at you.
Yeah, for anybody wondering, I may have thrown a comment in the chat of how ballsy would it be to throw on a squeeze here like 2 pitches before Fitz tried to drop a bunt. And I didn't have time for it, but with Wilmer, when he was fighting off 103, I was sitting there going, new strategy, fight off those and just hope he throws 2 easy takes. And he did. So, I don't know how easy they might have been when you're geared up for 104, but hey, we'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take a win no matter how we get it. So.
Joaquin says, have we discussed what Dan's tattoo is going to be? I recommend it's the bat flip he just did to walk it off. For those of you wondering, and I'm going to have to go dig up the tape from this one, but Dan may have said that he's going to get a Wilmer Flores tramp stamp if, what was it, 30 home runs or 100 RBIs?
Yeah.
We're going to be soft on him. I'm not going to make anybody get inked up, but, he might be his punishment might be getting a signed Wilmer jersey and either hanging it behind him or wearing it.
Look, I'm a man of my word, but the original plan was to get the number 41, but I don't know if I want to get a number in that area. So we might have to do a tattoo, but somewhere else.
That'd be awesome. Everybody's like, why 41?
Be like, it's not what you think, I promise.
You get a 41 with a goat.
Oh, that's a good idea. Get on my arm or something.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
Just imagine dead center in my chest.
Yeah.
Right on my heart.
Yeah. I think we just do the I think you just do the jersey. You do like a signed jersey and then you have to like wear it for like a year.
Well, I said I'd get the signed jersey
giveaway.
No, you won't want that. I'll burn it. I said I do the jersey and have it right there. I'll take out this dang thing and frame it right there, sign it and everything. If he got both 30 and 100, but right now the 100's looking a little more realistic.
Yeah. You ever see the Skip Bayless like super fake videos every year when Dallas gets knocked out of the playoffs? And he like films himself huffing and then walking through his or whatever. He like slams a jersey in his garbage can. Dan would be making one of those videos once his year was up. Oh man. Well, anyway, Giants win 1-0. They've won 2 in a row. When we were seeing this live show coming up a few days away, the Giants were on a skid, and I was not feeling good about how the vibes were going to be on this. They've still, overall, if you look at the overall week since we last went on, it was a rough week overall. But when you win 2 games in a row, and then we also get to hear the news with Hicks getting kicked to the pen, Birdsong is now going to be his starter. It's about time. It was a pretty good day for baseball today. And Wilmer hit 3 homers yesterday. It's hard to be not smiling as a Giants fan today. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, like you said, we've been asking for Hicks to go to the pen. I mean, at least I have since last summer. So it's and I called for it all off season. So, it's for the best. I mean, I said it all the time. This move upgrades your starting rotation and your bullpen. Plain and simple. It's a win-win. So I'm not mad in the slightest. And like you mentioned, coming off 2 straight dubs, it's hard to complain right now.
Yeah. It's hard because Birdsong's been so good in the pen that I'm not 100% sure it does upgrade the bullpen. But conversely, I'm hoping it at least fixes what Hicks brings to the team.
No, yeah.
And it's just you look at what Jordan Hicks was as a reliever, and his strikeout rate, his whiff rates, all those things were up in the high 20s, sometimes low 30s. And now he's like almost a pitch to contact guy. He's become Jeff Young made a great point about it, where he's become a 2-pitch guy. It's it's sinker and sweeper. He hardly throws a splitter, which is a really good pitch. So he should throw his splitter more. And then he also doesn't hardly throw his four seam, which I get it. You want, when you can throw 99 sink and you want to just try and get people putting it on the ground, that's great. But he also can throw 100 plus four seam. It just changes the movement on guys. And especially on like a lefty, get that up and in.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a lot of chase up above the zone on the hands, I feel.
When
sink.
Yeah, and the biggest reason I say that it's a win-win is because, like you mentioned, Birdsong, he brings a starting pitcher asset to the team, whereas Hicks is best suited in a relief role. So that's why it's a win-win. And much to your point, I think it's nice to actually be able to see Hicks use his arsenal appropriately in the pen, because we've all known he can throw 103 if he really wanted to, but he's reduced and pulled back on that velocity to be able to go that 4 or 5 innings, which even that's a stretch for him. So I think now being able to solidify a role for him in the pen, you'll be able to see those heaters, and I think it'll just be beneficial all across the board.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, love to hear that.
Hopefully they hold on to that one.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Rockies beat the Diamondbacks. Padres lose. Dodgers are currently down. I mean, it could be a good day for Giants.
Could be a really good day.
That's for sure. Yeah, no, I agree completely. We said it for most of spring. In the off season, we all kind of said we're not really a fan of Hicks starting. I don't want to like beat the guy down today. I feel like we've done that enough between the off season, spring training, early this season. The move's been made. We don't have to keep, pouring salt in that wound. But I do think like our biggest thing was just we wanted him to have to compete for the job. And even though it felt like it was just given to him, and that was the whole frustration on our end, because it felt like he's been outpitched, late last season, this spring, early this season. Like it could not have been more clear to us and anybody watching pretty much. So, he's a good dude. It sounds like he's at least taking it the right way. I know there was a lot of concern with him being a cancer, and that could have been part of the strategy with, giving him the job early on was, hey, if we give him a shot, then we upheld our promise, and we said we would. He got a shot, he caked his pants, move on. Like, we're not going to keep doing this, and we go from there. Now, and hopefully Hayden Birdsong. I've heard, I think Susan Slusser posted something on X saying, Hicks is going to have to earn his way back into the starting rotation. If Jordan Hicks starts more games for us this season, that is a disaster, because that means Hicks, Birdsong, Harrison, and possibly even someone like Carson Wisenhunt all just blew up because, or we just had a ton of injuries. So hopefully it does not come back to that. We have a lot of young arms. Hopefully they can rise to the occasion, take care of business. Landon Roop had a great start today. I think maybe it was Larry messaged us where you said, or Derek, they said that it was a kind of a your next notice with Hicks getting the boot. And Roop showed up like a guy that was like, oh crap, I could be the next guy out of the rotation.
He delivered.
Yeah, and he showed up 6 scoreless today. So good stuff by Landon Roop.
Mm-hmm.
I liked seeing his sinker get used more. His changeup got used more. There was a lot of good stuff with that. I've said for a while, like part of it's command, part of it is just his pitch usage hasn't been great. You have an elite curveball. You can't just throw it every pitch though. Guys will sit on it. So yeah, like I said, hopefully this is a good sign with all the young pitchers going forward though.
Yeah, completely agree. I don't know. It's encouraging. I want to see the offense kind of get some life though, because like Juan mentioned in the comments, your bullpen's nasty now, and even just piggybacking off Joaquin. Shouts out Joaquin, by the way.
Shout out.
But hopefully the move to the pen, you have that combo of Hicks, Camilo, who's looked sharp, Randy, who's been solid all year, Walker, if he can turn it around. He was pretty solid tonight. He just had a shaky last couple weeks. And then Rogers has been pretty good all year. I mean, you got a nasty bullpen.
Yeah. If they can get if Walker can get back to kind of being himself, it doesn't even have to be last season Ryan Walker. If he could get back to 2023 Ryan Walker, I mean, you're looking at like possibly the best pen in baseball.
Easily.
And the fact that, and I'm going to shout out Ed here, no love for Rogers. We've been hard on Rogers at times, but the fact that you can throw in the middle of all four of those guys that all bring it 98 plus, some of them up in the 102, 104 range, depending on if Hicks is loose that day. And then you can just toss Tyler Rogers and his 78 mile an hour fastball, whatever you want to call it, rise ball. I don't know. You can throw him in the middle of that mess at like the weirdest arm angle ever. I mean, that's kind of a weapon when they're geared up for 102 right between them.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. And then a name a lot of people are forgetting about that's in the pen right now, which Ed just touched on, Miller and Harrison. So yeah. I mean, you kind of incorporate those wherever. Yeah, it's got the makings for a really good pen.
Yeah. Harrison, I will say I'm really impressed with what I've seen. I watched all the starts down in Sacramento this season. Every day. If I didn't see it live, I'd watch it back the following day and just sit there and like watch every pitch. And you could tell the fastball velo is coming back. A couple things I've noticed with him, aside from I know they've got his arm angle down a little bit. It's let that it has a really good run on his fastball. He's got it up at like 97 again, which is fantastic. I mean, that definitely raises his ceiling. But the thing that I've really been most impressed with is his slider shape is significantly better than last season.
Yeah.
He's not throwing that slurve. It's like a tighter, a little bit more, feels like it's a little bit more vertical tilt instead of horizontal. Mm-hmm. It's not that big loopy, bender in that it felt like every hitter was picking up immediately out of his hands. I'd like to see the usage of that go up. I don't know for anybody that's watched the Netflix documentary they did following the Boston Red Sox around last season, but a lot of people know Andrew Bailey left the Giants prior to last season and went to the Red Sox as their pitching coach. Well, Bailey talks a lot in that show. I've been watching it recently. It's actually pretty interesting. Bailey talks a lot in that show where he's like the highest average in OPS against like a pitch is the fastball. And it's like, no matter how elite your fastball is, like that's the highest expected performance. He goes, so why would we like the Red Sox are like the lowest fastball usage team in the majors? And I'm not going to sit here and say anybody should be, especially with a guy like Kyle Harrison. Like, I'm not saying, hey, cut your elite fastball usage down to 40% or anything, or 30%, but I think you could get that down a little bit. And he needs to get, now that his slider's looking a little better, he needs to use that more because he needs an off speed to get some chases. He needs something that gets these guys not sitting on his fastball. And then it's just going to make his fastball that much better, especially when he's pumping 98 up at the letters. So,
yeah. No, agreed. And that breaking ball, that's a pitch that we've been asking for the last year. I mean, at least here on the channel with me, you, and Ricky. So it's nice to see it kind of go into fruition and get to see it evolve. And yeah, it'd be cool to, watch Kyle kind of utilize that a little bit more. It can be pretty nasty. Well,
yeah. What's up, Darius?
Yo. Really quick, one, you don't want me to get started on Bivens. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? I'm just going to throw Bivens a little credit here. Overall this season, he has been pretty solid. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to everybody and say I have the utmost confidence in the guy. Every time he comes out, like it feels like it's it's like a 4-run inning waiting to happen every time he's out there. But you know what? He's been throwing strikes. He has a 3.5 ERA on the year. He's pitched in 13 games. I'm looking at it right now. And sometimes there's always a guy like him in your pen that I won't call him the sacrificial lamb, but there's always the guy that's going to come in a game that's getting out of hand. And 2010, the Giants won the World Series. They had Guillermo Mota in their bullpen, who was absolutely that guy. So Someone's got to have that job. It happens to be Spencer Bivens. It's fine. Ziggy says, shout out Ziggy. Hot take. Yeah, his hot start will end up being worse for the Giants than had he been placed on the bench from the beginning. He's reverting back to old Yaz. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a long leash. So they're going to give him time. I hope he doesn't revert back to the 230, 15 home runs.
Nope.
40 RBIs. Was that Will Clark's description?
Yep. Quote unquote.
Yeah. And he made those comments and you went, huh? And then looked at Yaz's numbers and you're like, wow. So hopefully that's not what he's going to revert to. I mentioned it last week or earlier this week as well with Luis Matos. He had a hot 3 games and then they parked him on the bench for 4 days and he cooled off. And it just, to me, maybe he would have cooled off anyway. That just feels like a self-inflicted wound. That's my opinion. But
yeah,
I
wasn't thrilled with it.
Yeah, not great. Rob, we're going to have to think about Dan last time was his actual prediction again. We're going to have to dig that one up. Are you referring to the Wilmer thing, like the bet, or like his record prediction?
My record prediction, my over-under was 84.5.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think Ricky said 90.
Ricky was pushing 90.
I said 86.
Yeah.
I know Jeff Young said 81.
Yeah.
I'm feeling decent about 86.
I feel really confident.
They raced off to 10 games over, and then you're seeing the warts. This is a team, their run differential's fantastic. They're like 8th in team ERA, and that probably just got better after shutting out the A's for 10 innings. But they're 8th in team ERA. It feels like their pitching could get even better as the year goes. And then offensively, they've scored the 8th most runs, even though like all of their numbers scream they should not have the 8th most runs. So they're, when you're middle to the bottom of the pack in like home runs, batting average, on base percentage, stolen bases, like literally down the line, the only thing they've been phenomenal at is hitting with runners in scoring position. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, hey, if you're going to hold that all year, then I'll eat crow, but I would expect some regression out of the offense at some point.
Yeah. And what was that number? It was like the Giants started 8-1 on the year, and they've been pretty much a 500 team ever since. So there's like some statistic with that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully they heat up and go on a nice little winning streak. Rob says he is referring to the bet. So here's the thing with the bet. It wasn't even a bet. I just said, hey, if he hits 30 bombs or 100 RBIs, I'll get a Wilmer tattoo. And the guys are like, oh, you get a tramp stamp. And I was like, I'm a man of my word. And then now we're May 17th. The Wilmer has like 42 RBIs.
Is he still? Did Judge get any today? He might be leading Judge.
I didn't see. He might be.
That'd be hilarious. Wilmer Flores has like 120 RBIs this season. That'd be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's essentially a lose-lose, because if he does hit it, then I get a tattoo. If he doesn't, I get nothing. So
yeah,
I just kind of shot myself in the foot, but whatever.
It's all good.
A Wilmer handprint. I don't know how you can make that happen.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Dude, just walk into the yard one day and be like, hey, Wilmer, I need you to put your hand on my sign really quick, and then just drop.
Turn into a turkey.
That's freaking awesome. Judge went 0 for 5 today. Wilmer might be leading baseball.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's insane. Look, I've joked about it on X, but I will actually declare it now. I am the reason for Wilmer Flores' success. You guys should be thanking me. That's all I'm going to say.
It's only it's the only logical explanation at this point. There's some weird voodoo going on.
What happens if he's named NLCS MVP?
Wilmer's got Jabu in his locker.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic, man. But yeah. Any other topics with the team from the last week? Anything big that we're
inside of the pinky finger, George says.
Oh,
Here's your belly button with a hanging Wilmer pendant. You guys are crazy.
Man, I'm not that cruel. Damn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys are wild. No, to your question, the only other news that came out was Fitzgerald's back. And Wisely got sent down.
Yeah. Oh, Harar got they didn't specifically say any kind of setback, but they did say he has a little bit of hand soreness, so they're slowing down his rehab games, which, I mean, he's not even eligible to come off for like another week. So
yeah, there's no point in rushing it, honestly.
It's be cautious on that one. Even when he is healthy, I can't expect that they're going to have him playing every day as much as all of us would love to. It sure as hell isn't going to eat into Wilmer's playing time. I mean, that's for sure. I mean, not when the guy's hitting like this, but you'd expect that, Wade's probably going to be where the brunt of that. VR will probably go down. He'll get DFA'd.
Yeah, he'll get
DFA'd.
He'll get DFA'd.
It means he could end up back. He could end up elsewhere if another team claims him. He's already been DFA'd once this season. Not sure anybody will really claim him, but who knows? Someone might be desperate. And then, I mean, Schmidt. A couple people asking how Schmidt's doing. He's struggling a bit down there, but when you don't play for a month, you just jump right into rehab games. I've seen plenty of good players go down to AAA and not hit for anything in their rehab appearances, and then they come up and they're fine. So, who knows? Yeah. I wouldn't read into that too much. Ryan O'Hearn, that would be a great pickup, in my opinion.
Yeah.
O'Hearn, Yandy Diaz. There's a few different people that I would be highly interested in. I actually feel like I know Melvin said that Harar's primarily going to play first base, but I would not be surprised if Luis Matos is the one that wears it. Between like when Schmidt and Harar come back, like when both of them are back, I would not be shocked. Which sucks.
I don't want to see it. The only thing that gives me a glimmer of hope is that Baumel was adamant in the fact that he said Harar is going to be playing first base and he's going to be playing against lefties. So that's what gives me a glimmer of hope, but it wouldn't shock me because they're not playing Matos, plain and simple. So,
well, and now he's got a
bum shoulder. So
shoulder injury. I mean, they might just IL him, and if he can't play in the next few days, they can backdate it.
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't played in like 4 days or whatever it was, or 3 days. So they can backdate it a few. I could see how that happens. Ziggy, this has been my biggest complaint about the Giants for it feels like forever. They just there's a way to treat young guys, and they just haven't seemed to figure that one out. And it's like, why do I keep burning my biscuits? I cook them the same way every time. It's like, come on, like, why do we keep struggling to develop these young hitters? We treat them the same way every time when they get up.
And what's weird is that they fast track some, like I'm just going general over the last few years. They fast track some guys and call them up and put them on the 40 way too soon. And then others, they just kind of slow play for years and years and years. So it's like, you got to find that nice happy medium, because you go off one way or the other on the spectrum, it's just bad news all around. So I don't know. They're saving the offense for the
dude. When Koss hit that grand slam the other day, I was like, Verlander's like punching air right now. Like, why do they never hit one of these for me? And then like 2 days later, friggin' Wilmer hits a grand slam too, and I'm just like, bro, 2 starters have gotten it since his last start. Grand slams,
bro. My phone was getting blown up yesterday because when Wilmer was going off. That's all I'm gonna say. Not just from you guys. I'm openly the contrary of my title here on in real life. So I get a bunch of crap from friends just so the bullpen can blow it. Don't you put that evil on me?
Yeah. Ed, that's a great point. So Rogers, I think you could make a stronger case for. Walker, with how he has looked this season, coming into the 10th. Here would be my mindset. You're coming into the 10th inning. And I texted these guys like immediately when the 10th inning was starting. I went, you got to think you're going to be facing Mason Miller in the bottom of the 10th, and you've got Wade and Bailey coming up.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I had no confidence in that, and I was like, ... no pressure, Camilo. Because to answer your question, do you really want Ryan Walker with how he's looked this season, pitching the 10th with a runner on second, with Mason Miller coming in the following inning? Because I did not. I had very little confidence, and it shows how much confidence Mark Kotze has in Mason Miller that he went out and played for 1 run. You don't see that with the road team, like in extra innings. Like the road teams don't do that. Their goal is to try and get multiple. They've got to make sure they score the 1. But Mark Kotze was like, to hell with scoring multiple runs. We got Mason Miller coming in the game. He's like the best pitcher in a 1-inning situation in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So, and he almost got out of it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So,
which is a great at bat from Wilmer because he had him in a 1-2 count.
Yeah. But I do agree that Rogers, you could have made a case to, let him go another inning. I mean, there are 4 pitches, and the A's did not exactly put any good swings off on him. So, that one I agree. In the playoffs, you would send him out another inning. Yeah, maybe. I mean, because in the playoffs, there's no ghost runner. If Walker's looking like himself, you could definitely make a case. That's for sure. And it depends on matchups, how many arms you've already spent out of your pen, etc. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, Daniel, you're not wrong.
Yeah, did us a favor walking Yaz. That put a ton of unneeded pressure on Miller. Yeah, I agree. I mean, how many teams, I get the matchups aspect of it, but I'm sorry, I've watched Yaz struggle with high fastballs his whole career.
Yeah.
And how many teams have a guy hit 3 home runs on him the day before and they say, yeah, we're still going to walk the bases loaded to face this guy in extra innings with the game on the line? Like, that is no respect for Wilmer Flores. So, yeah, no, I agree. Hey, you know what? This is actually a good point here for George. Bob Melvin has caught an endless amount of crap for his bullpen usage this season. And there are a lot of times where people have said he's lost them games. We've said it. I know Ricky has said it. Other people have said it. You see it on X all the time. Shout out Bomel. He managed the bullpen well today.
Yeah.
Putting Doval in the 10th instead of Ryan Walker. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I agree,
Rob, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Chat's popping that. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I love it, guys. Keep it coming.
You guys are running the show.
Yeah, if there's any topics y'all want to talk about, in particular, just throw it in there. Anything we haven't covered yet. Is there anything you really have like lined up today? The big things for me were really the Birdsong thing, and then we were going to do a little bit of post game. Not a lot happened today, but I mean, I can talk a little minor leagues if anybody's interested. I don't know if y'all have seen recently, but we've had some big time power showing in the Giants system.
Yeah,
and it's pretty exciting. There's a lot of good things to talk about there. Luciano's kind of having an okay year, but you go down into the lower levels, especially Bryce Eldridge went on an absolute heater the last 2 days. Anybody that walks the shorts, yeah. Walker Martin's like unconscious right now. That guy's insane. He's hit like 6 home runs in 6 games. I wouldn't be shocked if he hits a home run while we're on this live show again. He's pretty crazy to watch. He's a guy that struggled a lot with strikeouts. Mm-hmm. He's hit 3 home runs to left center field in Stockton. In this series. Crazy. And yeah, I know Ricky and I were kind of talking yesterday about his oppo power and like comparing it to like Luciano and stuff. And I think he might, I think where Ricky's onto it is kind of he might have the most playable, actually like it plays in game opposite field power in the system. I mean, him and Bryce. I mean, Bryce is like in a category of his own, but I mean, his swing is just so good. It always looks like he just backspins it. Like that ball that Corbin Carroll hit out a few days ago off of Kyle.
Yeah.
Like that's how a lot of Walker Martin's homers to left center look like. It just looks like it's like this kind of flat swing that just like backspins one out. And yeah,
that's the school of Barry Bonds 101. That's how he always instructed every batter that he taught. He says, chop it, get the backspin, let that be your power. And like you mentioned, Corbin Carroll does a great job of it. He's not a big guy by any means, but he gets backspin on it. Then, like you said, Walker Martin's doing the exact same thing and delivering oppo. So, no, I agree. In game, Martin's got crazy opposite field power. And as far as like true oppo power, I still think Luciano's got like elite oppo power, but it's just you don't really see it too often.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bo Davidson too. You posted and sent us one of his bombs. Dude's going.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys follow me on X, I post a lot of the stuff there. If you follow Ricky on IG, my X, other hand, right there. If you follow Ricky on IG, you can actually both Ricky and I, because Ricky and I collab on usually all of these at sfgiantscove. He posts a lot of the highlights, especially minor league stuff. He'll also post lineups, roster moves, some rumors and things like that. So he's great for if you want news and all that stuff. Make sure you follow his. Also, I've been trying to post more of the shorts on YouTube, so I'm not going to get all of them because it like messes with the algorithm if you post too many videos. So I'm not. Y'all can wait till the minor league update video every week. I try and pull as many as I can throughout the week to cram into that video. So yeah, you'll see a lot there. But yeah, if you ever want to see kind of what's going on day of, we do try and post some stuff. But yeah, I've seen people mentioning it. Bo Davidson hit a home run today, left center. He's been great this season. He's been one of the most productive hitters in the Northwest League in Eugene. James Tibbs went 4 for 5 yesterday, had a home run, a couple doubles. A nice game from him. Pretty funny. We were talking earlier, like a lot of people have pointed out, his numbers, and that's like, oh, he's super disappointing. He's not been great. And then you look, and he's got like a 116 WRC plus in that league, which means he's been 16% better than league average. And then you look at his strikeout to walk rate, and his strikeout rate right now was, I think, 13.2%, which is second best in the league. And then his walk rate was like 17.4%, which was like fourth or fifth best, I think. Shout out Dan K. He pulled those numbers, but yeah, he found them, and he's like second in strikeout rate, fourth in walk rate in the Northwest League. And you look at his batting average on balls in play, and he's hitting like 245 on balls in play. And it's not like he just hits a bunch of crappy contact. Like he hits the ball hard.
Yeah.
And so it's like elite plate discipline, hits the ball pretty hard for the most part, works good counts. Like I would expect some, positive regression out of him. Like I expect this to kind of regress to the mean a bit, and you're going to see some good production out of him going forward, because that is everything says that his numbers should be way better than they are right now. So we'll kind of see.
No, with Tibbs, it's a pleasant surprise because a lot of fans were upset with how his short, first taste of pro ball was last year. And he really didn't end on a great note. So it's nice to see, this type of resurgence. And it's someone that the three of us have been talking about for the last year. The Giants have a ton of slept on potential in the lower levels. And, Sac, but, San Jose, Eugene, and Richmond, there's some studs, man.
Yeah. And there's a few other guys. I mean, I know I touched on a lot of guys on the on the minor league, weekly show, but yeah, I mean, cup guys like Dakota Jordan's been really good. Jacob Christian hit one of the funniest home runs. For any of you that the short, I posted it, and he hit it like 440 feet. It was 108 mile per hour exit velocity. And
just a nuke, bro.
Yeah, and listen to the announcer and watch the left fielder. The left fielder is literally like this, like he can't find the ball, and it's like, bro, that ball's 100 feet over your head, and like way out, and it was pretty funny. So the shorts in my recent videos, you'd have to catch it there. But I mean, there's some crazy power. Here's a good one. Calippo. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but which prospects are untouchable? I mean, Bryce, that's the obvious one. Not counting anybody on the major league roster, because personally for me, since he's not like thrown a ton of innings, I kind of sort of put Birdsong in that category, and I would not trade Birdsong. But Bryce for sure. I mean, truly untouchable. That's tough.
The only one that's close, just because he has such a high ceiling, in my opinion, is Dakota Jordan. But even him, like for the right offer, I would strongly consider it. So the only one I would say is Bryce.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Like, okay, let me put it this way. If Bo Davidson and Dakota Jordan continue doing what they're doing and you haven't traded them in like a year and a half or like a year or so, by like mid-season 2027, I guess I would be, that they very well, or like by the time that year starts, if they're doing this in like AA and AAA, they're probably going to be untouchable for me because of the overall package, like the tools those guys have. But they're in the lower levels. It's still a bit of a lottery pick on that one. So it's hard. Bryce to me is the only guy that like 100% I'm hanging up. It's the fart in the phone and hang up if they ask for Bryce.
The only other two I would say on a personal level would be Jacob and Jeremiah, just because of the homies.
Yeah. Nah, I love those guys. Jacob, Jeremiah, Xander, good dude. Charlie, Zacconi, haven't forgot you. These are all good dudes. They've come on the show. Don't want to see any of those guys go. Okay, here we touched on this last week. Who would you guys be willing to let go for Rafael Devers? I'm gonna be honest. I have no interest in Rafael Devers.
I agree,
because, and here's why. It's not that I don't think he's a great player. A couple of years ago, I was actually hoping that he would not sign an extension with Boston. Boston was kind of going through their little phase of like starting to act a little cheap. They had traded Mookie. I thought, hey, let's try and get him. But the issue is he's not going to play third base here. He's not going to play first base, apparently, because that's the whole reason he might get traded from Boston, is he's like refusing not to play first base. And we don't even really have a DH spot for him right now because, I mean, listen, anybody and their brother would take Rafael Devers over Wilmer Flores, but like the reality is like the Giants love Wilmer and they're not going to do anything about that. Like not when he's producing like this. So I feel like you're trading for a guy that doesn't want to play first base just to tell him, hey, yo, you're going to go play first base. And it's like, that's not going to end well.
You're gonna gut the farm system for a farm system that's already relatively weak in the upper levels. So you have to give up, some combination in your top 10 for a guy that's not going to play his preferred position, who's coming with a little bit of, an attitude issue into a clubhouse where the vibes are super high. It's a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Yeah, he's a great talent, but in MLB The Show, sure, I'll make the move. But in real life, no, I'll pass. That's just me personally.
And it's not an indictment on him as a player, like at all. Yeah. To me, it's an attitude thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything you're hearing with this, as far as why he might get moved. It's like, to me, you're not trading for him to play third base, because there's no way in hell you're playing him at third over Matt Chapman. So I just can't do that one. Let's see. I think I marked a couple comments. Keep throwing stuff in there. I'm trying to get everything. I probably have missed a few. If we don't get to it soon, just to slap it in the chat again. If we ignored it, sorry.
Yeah, exactly, Ziggy.
Liam, will Bryce be called up to sack anytime soon? This is actually an interesting one, because I went back and forth with someone on X yesterday or the day before, because someone mentioned, why not just let him spend extra time in AA and then just skip AAA entirely, because it's such a hitter-friendly environment that AA really is the Eastern League is a harder environment for hitters. So there is actually a case for that because of the parks. A lot of teams with really high-end pitching prospects do pitch in that league because they don't want to destroy their confidence. But, the reality is, to me, you are going to still see better pitchers in AAA. So you should still have them there, even if there are some launching pad parks that are going to inflate your numbers a bit. You should still get him to AAA at some point. I think he'll get better coaching in AAA. Guys like Ron Wotus can make that trek. Will Clark can make that trek. JT Snow can make that trek. Really easy to Sacramento. Defense is something that he's going to really need to improve on. So I do think they should. Now, as far as when, that's the $1 million question, everybody, because I don't know as far as how Posey and Manassian and Randy Wynn and all those good fellas are going to want to operate. They've made it sound like they want to kind of slow down everybody and have them really dominate a level over a long period of time. But I mean, at what point do they just look at a guy going, he's not benefiting from being here?
Yeah.
And if he's hitting 320 in the Eastern League with a near 1,000 OPS, like at some point they might be going, let's just get him to sack. So I can't give you an answer, unfortunately. I would say like June sometime at the earliest, like late June. But I mean, if he goes on, has another week like he just had the last few games, then who knows? It could be sooner.
Yeah. No, if it was up to me, just because I'm a impatient fan, I would pull a Brandon Crawford, skip sack, go straight to the big leagues. But it's not an option. Day and age, something they don't do. So yeah, it's tough. If I had to make a safe assumption, I would assume he ends the season in Sacramento. But how soon he, gets promoted, to be determined. If he mashes the next 6-8 weeks, I think there will be a serious discussion. But until then, it's just kind of a wait and see.
Yeah. This will be the last thing with the Devers thing, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I wanted to touch base on this. What complicates things is the Giants have made it known by their lack of pursuit over any first baseman this past offseason is that they believe that Bryce Eldridge is the future and that he's probably going to be the opening day starter next year. It'll put you in a weird position where you're going to plug Devers in for 1 year, take on his contract, put him at first base that's already crowded with Wade, Wilmer, and Herrera now, who they're saying is going to play it. And then after that, when Bryce comes in, then where do you put Devers at? You put him at DH? I don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, what does he have, like 10 years left on his contract?
So yeah,
You're gonna have a 10-year commitment to a DH.
Yeah. That's why it doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah. And I will say this, like if Devers came out, like if Posey calls him and is like, hey, like we're looking at, I don't know the tampering rules. Like I think they can if the team grants permission, whatever. If they work it out where he says like explicitly, like I have no problem playing first base for you guys. My reason for not wanting to do it here is because I was promised X, Y, and Z. You know what? If he comes out and says that to the Posey, then yeah, it changes the tune. Like I can't sit here and say with confidence that he will, because all the evidence we have is he's unwilling to play first base. So I'll just say that, George. Like if he's willing to do it, then that changes it a bit. But
it doesn't to me, because even if he's willing to do it, he does it for 1 year.
True. So well, I mean, the other part of that is Bryce is not exactly showing currently a proficiency at first. It could be longer. It could be a rotation. Who knows? But I mean, I agree with you in the sense that Bryce is the future there, and I don't really want to get people that are going to block him.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
Mui Do the Giants go for another arm or a bat at the deadline? I don't see them going for an arm.
Neither do I.
I think they very much believe in the young arms they have. That said, knock on wood, if something freak injury happened to like a Logan Webb, they would absolutely have to go for another arm at that point. But I don't think that an arm is going to be on the table. Not even a bullpen arm, honestly. Like I would feel more confident taking Carson Whisenhunt and putting him in the bullpen than I would going and trading for a guy.
Yeah.
Because Whisenhunt's changeup would be just disgusting in the bullpen. This is a pitch that he gets a near 50% whiff rate on, and people would only get to see him once. So, they have some arms that I don't even think they would need to trade for that. Tristan Beck, a couple people mentioned Sean Jelly earlier. Those guys are having great seasons in Sacramento so far. They have a lot of bullpen arms that are available to them. So I don't see that one happening. A bat, a couple people mentioned O'Hearn, Yandy. I've mentioned Yandy. Ricky and I have mentioned Yandy Diaz a lot. Bo Bichette, if he's having a good year, you're gonna have to wait and see on Tyler Fitzgerald for 2.5 more months or whatever it is. But that could be a name to monitor. I don't know who else might be available. That's the problem. We have to wait and see what happens with teams, but there's just a couple names. I do think if Buster, if this team is in a playoff position, not the crap like last year, not 2 games under 500 and they're somehow only 4 back or 3 back or whatever it was. Not that situation. Like if they are a legitimate, 10 games over 500, they're in a wild card spot. I just don't think Buster Posey is going to sit on his hands and do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, if anything, what would be realistic is a bat, but it all depends on where the Giants are in the standings come July. I can't see them really, making moves for a playoff push if they're like out of it. But if they're still in the race, yeah, I could see it. There's a couple of guys we'll get to. Baltimore's got a couple that I'm huge on, O'Hearn and Mayo in particular, or prospect guys. But I mean, just kind of see how it all plays out. And like, yeah, what Ricky said, 93rd percentile hard hit percentage in exit velo.
Yeah, I mean, he's hitting like 243 this season. Like he's not having a lot to show for it. 243, 6 home runs, 23 RBIs is what I'm seeing.
It's like the opposite for Wilmer. Wilmer's got like one of the lowest hard hit percentages in exit velos, and bro is just mashing. Baseball's weird, bro.
It is. Like, it's pretty crazy. I just have to pull it up every time. You know what's coming. Y'all know what time it is.
Trent Harris. Yeah, Mike, we're huge on Trent Harris.
Yeah, I said Trent Harris would debut this season at some point. I'm feeling less confident in that with how good the bullpen's been, but injuries can happen. You never know.
But I do think he'll get the call to sack relatively soon. Yeah, coming months. Yeah, look at this.
How in the hell has this produced a 263 average, 785 OPS, 10 home runs, and 42 RBIs?
And the thing is he was in the 2nd percentile yesterday. So him mashing last night brought him up 1 point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ricky, we talked about it in the beginning.
Yes, we brought that one up.
Yeah, these numbers are crazy though.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
And a stolen base. Yeah, dude. Speedy Gonzalez.
Wait. 3rd percentile sprint speed. Wait, is that up or down from 2024?
Let's take a look.
It's up. He's back. Up. He is so back. It's gone from 1st to 3rd percentile. He's got healthy knees again. He's good. Sir. that page always makes me smile. It's always so funny.
Somebody asked or brought up a point that they think, or they're worried about the Giants extending Yaz and Wilmer after the year. I can confidently say with 95% certainty that they will not be extending either one of those guys. They're meant. We've said this for 2 years now, that those two players are meant for a team that's, got a pretty solid squad making a playoff push.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense long term for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think Yaz will be back. I think that one for sure. Wilmer, man, I don't know. If you told me they signed him to like a 1-year deal, it wouldn't shock me. It just wouldn't. If he posts up like 100 RBIs, Ziggy says Wilmer's been drinking his milk. Yeah, I mean, probably. I also would be willing to bet he had a random drug test in his locker after yesterday's game.
I know Christian Koss got one after he hit that grand slam.
Yeah,
the following morning.
I always love that when they get the random drug tests. Did I just pull one? Sorry.
Yeah, like if only Dan's voodoo magic worked on Bailey.
We've tried. We did a whole segment on this.
I've done my best, guys, and I said that I don't think the good Lord Jesus Christ could save him at this point.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what to do about him.
Bailey got his caveman vaccination. He's immune.
Yeah, he's immune to the caveman rants. I tried, man.
Oh man. Misby says Orioles are ripe for trades, or for a few trades that are not going to got our best prospects. Yeah, I mean, let's just look at this. The Orioles are one of the worst teams when it comes to pitching in Major League Baseball. What do the Giants have right now? They have like a ridiculous amount of pitching and young pitching up at the Major League level, AAA and AA. I mean, even down in AA, you've got Joe Whitman, Jack Choate. Choate's not going to be like a headliner, but he's a really quality arm. A couple other guys that have had decent years, like John Michael Bertrand. And then you look at AAA, and you've got Wisenhunt, Seymour, Mason Black, even Carson Ragsdale. Like there's a good amount. There's like kind of a glut of quality arms down there as well. So they've got a few young arms that are intriguing in the lower levels. Not that many, honestly. Most of their really high end pitching prospects are in the upper levels. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's an obvious fit. Of a for a team to try and make a trade with, but depends on what they're asking for. Are they going to just pull the same crap and be like, we want Bryce, and that's it?
Yeah.
So
I mean, Baltimore's got needs and wants, and Giants got pitchers to fill those needs and wants. So it's just, we'll see how it goes. It's definitely doable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So before I read this comment, we have like 177 people hanging out with us right now. Please do like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content, because you might not enjoy the content in the next about 12 seconds. So make sure you hit it now and then forget about it.
Been waiting for this one.
Yeah. Who's better, Bart or Bailey? I'm going to ask the chat here an honest question. If Joey Bart was still on this roster right now and Patrick Bailey was hitting $150 or whatever he's hitting now, would Joey Bart still be backing up Patrick Bailey today? After the last 3 months of last season, if Bart now obviously this is assuming a lot. This is assuming Joey Bart is producing here like he was in Pittsburgh last season. A lot of people want to make the change of scenery.
And
whatever. But he has severely outproduced Patrick Bailey at the plate for the last 4 or 5 months.
Longer than that.
Now Bailey truly is an elite defender. He is. You look at his baseball savant page, he's like 90th percentile or above in every category. Good for him. I've given him all the credit in the world on that side, but he is like a black hole in the lineup right now. So, honest question for the chat. Do y'all think that Joey Bart would actually be backing up Patrick Bailey right now after the last 5 months that those two have shown in the major league level?
I'll give you my answer while the chat answers. Joey Bart, he's hitting, he had a rough day today, but he came in hitting about, I think it was 281 with like a 780 OPS. Now, yes, Pittsburgh sucks, so he hasn't driven in many runs. They're only averaging like 4 runs a game across the board right now. But even Bart as a defender, he's, I believe, 2nd percentile in blocking, and he's right in the middle tier for caught stealing. Framing, he's definitely not as good as Bailey. Pop time definitely doesn't have as quick of a pop time. Yeah. But in all honesty, all preferences and biases aside, if you have Pittsburgh Joey Bart compared to what we've seen out of Patrick Bailey since July of last season, I'm going Bart. Because what Bailey brings to the table is elite defense and just god-awful hitting. And what is a great defender and bad hitter? It's a backup.
Yeah, and honestly, you could hand Bart a first baseman.
Yeah.
Like, you could still play Bailey most of the time at catcher, but you'd be finding a way to play Bart a lot. So, I mean, it's a rhetorical, someone mentioned it's a rhetorical question. Like,
absolutely is.
It's just like, it's purely hypothetical, but I mean, yeah, Bart he's probably a little bit below average defender. I feel like he's closer to average. Personally.
He's an average defender.
Baseball Savant hates him. I've watched enough of him where I'm like, that. Yeah, he's got his, he's got some chinks in the armor on his defense, but he's got a really good arm. He makes a lot of plays that I've consistently watched Patrick Bailey struggle with the short hop catch, or even not even a short hop, like catching one and actually holding on to the ball when he tries to tag early. Bart actually does a better job on those plays. Yeah, do they happen all the time? No, they don't, but there are some things that he does pretty solid. Bailey's in way better defender. I'm not even going to argue that, but the offense, man, like, you can't just be an automatic out. And that's where we're at right now with Bailey. He's got to figure something out. I mean, I think Ricky said it best here. Patrick Bailey is social distancing from fastballs over the plate. It's ugly, man. Like, it's brutal. So, yeah.
My thing is the Giants are going in on a daily basis right now. I mean, it's amazing that they're winning because they're going in with 7.5 hitters.
Yeah.
Wade's not giving you much and Bailey's not giving you anything. So you're going in on a daily basis, 9 versus 7.5 on the offensive side. Yeah. And Pavlovich made a post today when Bailey was 0-2 and said he's 0-2, but he's bringing this to the table with, framing, and great. Love it by all means. But in these close games, like, you need these, the lower end of your lineup to produce in some way, shape, or form. And we're pushing June, guys, and there's no even sign that things are turning around. So
at the end of the day, there's nothing they can really do about it.
There's zero competition in the system.
There's nothing in the system.
He's guaranteed a job.
So
a while.
That's why, go back a week or two ago, we came out and we made our case for why they need to just go out and draft a first round catcher.
Like Tom just said right there. Yep.
First, they're missing a 2nd and 5th, so 1st, 3rd, or 4th round. Doesn't have to be first. I mean, I get the whole like best player available in the first, but they've got to take a catcher early in this draft. And frankly, it should be a college catcher. For somebody that I would prefer somebody that's more advanced defensively with upside at the plate. Like Bailey, he's always been pretty limited with his upside. He has some power that he'll flash from time to time. Like, he's hit some bombs, but it just does not play in games. And I mean, yeah, Cal Raleigh is kind of the dream. Posey's obviously the dream, but he's a unicorn. But like, Cal Raleigh would be like the dream of what you could get in today's game, where it's just like elite defense and just hits dingers. But yeah, I mean, I just want someone that's like competent bat. Like, give me 75 or 75th percentile defense with 50th percentile offense, and I'd be thrilled out of that position. So,
yeah. No, absolutely. And Gilbert, even though Adley's definitely taken a step back, compared to how he was when he first came onto the scene, I'm still taking Adley personally.
Any day that ends in a Y, I'd rather have Adley Rushman.
Yeah.
That's my personal feelings on that. I think he's a guy that would actually figure it back out with the bat at some point.
He has a much higher ceiling offensively, and just very well rounded on both sides. So
yeah, I want to know what happened to his defense, because he went from like elite defender to like league average.
Yeah, I don't know
who broke him. Take a few too many foul tips.
Apparently,
yeah, that's pretty rough. That's
my
opinion, though.
Yeah, Miss B, you and I have talked on X about it. That'd be a pipe dream for us. I would love to make a move for him, but the Orioles.
Daniel, I agree. I hate the WAR statistic. I use it just because I'll utilize it just as a lot of people like it, and it just kind of illustrates some things. I think it does a decent job as a generalized tool, but I mean, Flores is like single-handedly won them a handful of games. It was the same thing with Ramos last year. I mean, how many games did we watch in like June last season where Ramos literally the Giants would score like 3 or 4 runs and Ramos will like knocked in like all 3 runs or like 3 of the 4 runs, or like it was situations like that. I'm like, and this guy's like worth 2 WAR on the season. I'm like, yeah, he won them like 6 games in that month.
I hate the WAR statistic. I just hate all the freaking analytics, bro. That's just me personally.
100%. Let's see. We had a few more in here. Since we're kind of on the trade topic, and then we have one from George from earlier. Mike S says Larry Krueger says Giants should go for Hoskins from Milwaukee. Thoughts on Hoskins? I mean, I've always liked Reese Hoskins. I mean, that is a local guy. I think he's from Sacramento. He went to like Jesuit or something like that.
Yeah.
Ever since the injury, he's not really been great. Although this season he's just hammering the ball.
Yeah.
Numbers look good again. I mean, maybe he's back and he's healthy. If you could get him, I don't, off the top of my head, I do not know Milwaukee's record. I know they were about 500 when they played in San Francisco. I'm not sure where they stand. If they're not close, maybe he's a guy that's available. I mean, I would take him for sure if we could get him. He's not a good defender. I mean, that's just something people are going to have to realize.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a power bat, kind of a pull side power bat that should play in this park.
Yeah, when he was a free agent, we had discussions about him.
Yeah.
There was some interest as far as, the 3 of us, but yeah, I don't know. It's another one of those things like Grand said. I mean, you're going to be bringing another righty into a right-handed heavy lineup. It'd be nice to mix it up with the lefty, but
yeah, it's tough.
Especially
we've got a lot of left-handed power in the system, though.
Yeah, and I was going to say, especially with him playing first, you're going to clog first base with Wade, Harar, and him. Harar kind of plays the Reese Hoskins role. At least that's what the plan is. So,
yeah. 27-19. Is that really their record right now? They were like 500 when they came here. They must have just won a bunch.
Yeah.
Because I think they left here below 500 after the Giants took 3 of 4.
There would be a lot of strikeouts, that's for sure.
Oh, no, that's not their record. Cubs, he must be talking about someone else. Okay, yeah. Milwaukee's 21-25. I was like, there's no way.
By low and Nolan Jones.
I mean, part of me wants to say, why would the Rockies trade someone in the division? But when you're on pace to win like 14 games, then why not? Who cares?
Hey, they won tonight.
Was that get them up to 7 on the year?
It's 7 or 8, bro.
It's 8. Oh my god, dude! I was kidding.
They're pushing double digits.
8 to win.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god, the race to double digits is on.
They'll hit 10 by June.
You sure about that?
Okay, maybe mid-June.
Yeah, that's brutal. Oh, Nolan Jones on the Guardians now? Well, apparently I haven't paid attention. My bad. Didn't even realize he wasn't still there. Huh.
Yeah, see, Adley would be a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, if he's in Cleveland, then outside chance. Cleveland's now third in the Central. Minnesota, after they've won 13 in a row.
Yeah, dude, Minnesota's been hot.
They were 13-20. They're now 26-20. That's insane. Yeah. Jeez. Tigers are 30-16. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, Cleveland definitely that could be an option. I mean, well, it's hard. It's trades. It's all hypothetical. We're 2.5 months from the trade deadline. Who knows what it's going to look like between now and then. Next one, George says, Gents, does Wisenhunt get called up this year? I mean, if he keeps doing what he's doing, at some point they're going to have to get him some.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll make this prediction.
I always predicted it'd be a September call-up.
Yeah, I think that's where you and I and Ricky have kind of aired with him is September call-up, because I think that changeup will be a weapon.
Yeah.
For September, you only get to add 2 to the roster, and it typically is going to be 1 pitcher and 1 hitter. Mm-hmm. And I think his changeup is so good that in a pennant race, like pulling him up makes a lot of sense. Because that can be a weapon in games, and he can give you a couple innings, and it lets him use the whole year developing as a starter. But my prediction for Carson Wisenhunt is whether in San Francisco or for another franchise, he makes his major league debut this season. So
yeah. Like you said, though, it'd be cool to just, bring him into a game in a high leverage situation or even low leverage, whatever. Yeah. But while you're making a playoff push and just say, hey, here's the changeup, hit it. Dare you. I dare you. Just give the opposing team a nasty pitch.
Nathan Lowe would be a nice pickup. Yeah, I mean, he would have been a nice pickup in the offseason.
Right.
Yeah. Verlander can get an injury. Hey, you know what, Grant? I'll give Verlander some credit. He's actually thrown the ball pretty well his last 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah, he's been decent.
Yeah, I mean he's been fine. It was looking bad early, but he's been
overall better than Hicks.
Decent. Low bar, man.
Sorry, the 6.5 ERA.
Like an ant would hit its head on that bar. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Verlander's got a 4.3 ERA right now. I mean, it's not exactly pretty, but on the flip side, like, he's not been terrible, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at his game logs, but I feel like his last, 4 or 5 starts, he's actually thrown the ball pretty solid.
Yeah.
So.
Can't complain.
Yeah, he had after the Phillies start, he had a 6.75 ERA. And he's gone 6, giving up 1, 6, giving up 1, 6 1/3, giving up 2, 5, giving up 3. That was one in Chicago. That was a tough environment that day. And then 6, giving up 2. I mean, he's kind of ripping off quality starts right now. I can't advocate pulling him right now, but, who knows?
Ziggy says Dodgers losing 11-9. Good. Did you guys hear Blake Snell got transferred to the 60-day? Even better.
Just hate to see it.
Just hate to see it.
What's the go? Oh no, that's terrible. God. Where's Kate Upton? Now Harris has found the problem. Get Kate in the stands. Start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Get Kate. Start a petition. That's the issue. She hasn't been at the games. God. There was another comment in here I was going to pull up that made me laugh, but I cannot remember.
A lot of these are making me laugh.
Yeah, this has been an awesome day with the chat. It's been fantastic.
Well, it kind of works out perfect because there wasn't a ton of topics and individually to talk about. So it's nice to kind of just answer a bunch of questions. Yeah. Especially since we're probably going to call it a show at 10 o'clock. So if you guys have any last questions, just get them in.
Yeah. This one wouldn't flip some of the young guys for an Alcantara. I mean, if it costs us virtually nothing, I would do that trade, but
it's not overly expensive, sure. But
yeah, I don't think Miami has any So I mean, I like to. Anytime I try and think about trades, I try and look at it from the perspective of another team. Miami has him under contract. I believe they can for 2 more years.
Yeah.
And as cheap as Miami is, I don't think they're so cheap because he's like only making like 17.5 million, which I mean, I guess it's kind of a lot for the Marlins. They don't have that many payroll commitments on that team. I don't see any incentive for the Marlins to make that trade because if he's not throwing the ball well, like why would they sell low on him?
Yeah.
Just hold on to him for another year and wait till he starts throwing the ball well again. Because I don't think any team's going to, coming off the Tommy John surgery, I don't think any team is going to be willing to give up the prospect haul of like they are trading for an ace when he's coming off Tommy John and he's not throwing the ball well. They're going to want to see some evidence that he's getting it back. So that's where I struggle on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you, Darius.
Yeah, was a good one.
Yeah, we had definitely. I definitely like talking Dakota. Dude, y'all like that video got like 15 or 1600 views at this point. By far the most views I've gotten on one of those minor league ones. So I appreciate you guys. Those videos do take like a lot, like compared to a lot of these, we hop on, we hit record, we just have our fun and then we call it good. I definitely put way more effort into those videos than any other one. So I really appreciate that. Like you guys enjoy it. I love all the support you guys give for those. It makes it a lot easier to stomach spending way too much time.
Chat. You guys have no idea. Cody will text me and Ricky. We have a little group text, and he'll have his notebook just full of minor league stats. Like, look, he's got it in front of him. We'll get these on the regular.
Literally a full page.
Dude puts so much effort into it.
So I appreciate you guys. Yeah. I love doing those though.
And yeah, Ricky and I sending them, clips to post.
Yeah.
Do our best. Yeah.
Whatever a former Giant. Yeah, the Jason Schmidt one is always one of the funniest to me. That guy was so good. And he just tanked so hard in LA.
Yeah.
It was great. Loved him as a Giant.
Great Giant.
Yeah. You ever go I don't know what I was scrolling through. I was on like YouTube and like randomly, like totally randomly, it's like Giants game 3, 2002 NLDS versus the Braves. And I was like, what the hell? Like, why is this popping up in my feed? And I clicked on it and I just watched like 2 innings of Jason Schmidt pitch. And I was like, dude, this guy was so nasty.
He was. So sometimes I'll look up highlights for like some of those like iconic Giants players from the early 2000s. Like other day I was looking at Fred Lewis highlights and
thought that guy was gonna be good.
I did too. Pedro Feliz, guys like that, dude.
He could pick it, dude.
He could pick it. It was nasty.
That's what I always remember Pedro for. He had like 20 homer pop, and then he could just pick it at third. He was fun to watch.
Noah Lowry, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Benito Santiago, he got a lot of hate, but back in the day, I love Benito. Obviously JT Snow. Who else was there? We had Randy Wynn actually has some nice highlights.
Yeah, no, Wynn was a fun Giant to watch. Like he deserves so much better than what he got in his career. Like that guy never made the playoffs. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
And then like right after he left, the Giants go to the World Series like 2 years later. I think 2008 was his last season here.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Durham, that used to be
Ray,
like my favorite.
Yeah, Ray Durham. I love Durham.
I loved Ray. That dude was fun. Yep, there it is. I think Darius and I might have had this conversation.
Ray Durham, bro. Vizquel, he was fun to watch at short.
We do shows about prospects. You should bring up the stats for players you do not highlight. Hey Ed, if there's anybody in particular you're looking for, make sure you throw it in the comments. Somebody mentioned Bandura the other day, and I don't know why I inexplicably hadn't really been talking about him. 7th round pick from Princeton, I think in 23. And, deservedly, he should have been one of the guys that I was talking about. I do try and cover as many as possible. I also don't want that video to be an hour long. So I do try and limit it to like 40-ish players. I think I read my list, and now that the complex league is going, I'm like at like 42 players right now. When players earn kind of being on, like, one of the people I talk about, I do try and add them in. If they're like really performing, I try and keep it mainly to the prospects. There's a few guys that are probably going to stop getting mentioned here in the near future. Hunter Bishop might be one of them, to try and short my list. But if there's anybody in particular wants to hear about, definitely throw them in there, because I've added people as the year's gone. Like Greg Ferrone, I added him, Rademacher, Bandura, Zane Zielinski. So always open to suggestions on certain players you want to hear from or hear about. And if there's anybody that you're wondering about, just like I said, throw it in the comments. Even if I didn't pull their numbers, I can give you my opinions on the guy. I do watch like way too many of those games, so usually I've formulated at least some kind of opinion. Oh yeah, Kershaw debuted today.
No, all biases aside, just because they're my friends and obviously co-hosts on here with Cody, but Cody and Ricky, they grind these minor league highlights. Like, they study these players better than the MILB does, bro. Like, it's crazy. They're dedicated to it. So
yeah, we love this stuff. And there is one guy that studies it probably harder than we do, and we're gonna be trying to get him on the show here soon. So
there's one guy, yeah. I was no other channel does, but there's one guy that does. So
yeah, you guys.
It's the only hint we're gonna drop. Is your wife up?
She's got a bum knee. She has to keep me around for at least a few more weeks while she's non-weight bearing. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Shearholds, that's the name I haven't heard in a while.
Yep, Nasty Nate. That dude had a cannon, man.
He did have a cannon.
It's about the only thing he ever did.
He was a very awkward player, but yeah.
I mean, is he really that awkward when we replaced him with Hunter Pence?
Right. Worked out.
It's like, let's trade one weird dude for the weirdest dude. Love Hunter.
Really? At least the latter was a freaking beast.
So. Yeah. I mean, well, the Shearholtz, he went to what? San Ramon Valley, I think, high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a local guy. He had some good years, I think, with like the Cubs after we traded him, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he had like 20 something bombs for them.
He had one random year. This dude looked like he was taking a crap in a bucket.
Aaron Rowan.
Every time he came to the plate.
Dude, when I was a kid, fun little story. When I was a kid, and my parents would take me to, they'd throw the ball and I'd hit it, whatever. And I love to mimic all the Giants batting stances. And I remember I was doing Aaron Rowan's, and my dad looks at me and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "It's Rowan's batting stance." Yeah, it was just a weird one, man. Yeah, it was fun though, because he would throw out a bunch of names to me, and I would just like mimic their batting stances perfectly. But I guess he just forgot how weird Aaron Rowan's stance was, so he just kind of laughed at me at the park. I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah. Rowan's was bad.
Yeah,
no, that was not.
It worked. It worked though. Darius goes completely random. Cody, but I remember last year we were talking about pitchers who own the Giants. I remembered Homer Bailey.
That dude threw a no-hitter against the Giants. And if anybody wants to Daniel,
real quick. What's up with players with the last name Bailey contributing to Giants losses? That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man. Remember my Nick Ahmed tweet last year?
Yeah, that's what inspired it, brother.
Always, man. For those of you that do not remember that. Nick Ahmed after the Giants dumped him, and then he went to LA and he hit a game-winning home run. I was like, Nick Ahmed's still contributing to Giants losses.
That was like one of your first tweets to like pop off.
That was when I finally just was like, I don't really care what everyone thinks. I'm not going to be afraid to dump on the dude. I'm over it. So.
No, yeah, Daniel, that's why I'm saying that stance worked for him. That's why Giants made the move to get him, but it didn't really work out well for us.
Yeah, he had a couple good years in Chicago and Philly. Not so much here. But yeah, Homer Bailey, man. I think a lot of you that have listened to me for the last year and a half or whatever, you know how much I love Gregor Blanco. I would like to point out that the only reason that they got no hit by Homer Bailey was that Gregor Blanco ran into it out at third base.
Yeah.
On a ball that was deep in the hole that the shortstop would have had zero chance at throwing. I think it might have even been like Buster. It wasn't even someone fast. They had no chance at throwing him out at first, and dude tried to take third and got thrown out. So it turned into a fielder's choice. That pissed me off. But
that was one of the many things
I digress.
that pissed you off.
Hey, he lived off one catch and a bunt for many years.
Many years.
But yeah, I'm not going into that one. Yep, there you go, Daniel.
There's the catch. Yep.
Gregor Blanco.
Your wife.
I love you guys. It's hella funny. Yeah, but I'm dead, dude. Other than that, I mean, do you guys have any? Yeah, you guys got any other topics you want us to hit? We got like 5 minutes. We're gonna definitely be hard stopping it today. Speaking of my wife, I got to keep her happy, so we gotta. I told her I would be done at 10 today. But who we got pitching tomorrow? We've got I think it's gonna be Verlander. I don't know who's throwing for the A's. I think it's a lefty because someone mentioned they're pitching 2 lefties in this series.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so chalk that loss up.
No run support.
Yeah.
Springs is pitching.
Springs. Oh, we got a 4.27 ERA. Yeah, he'll throw 8 shutout innings. Remember last season, every time they faced a dude with like a 6+ ERA, it was like, oh, yeah, here comes 6 shutout innings.
Yeah. And to make things even better, the majority of our lineup has never seen Springs.
Oh, nice.
The only ones that have is Chappie. He's got 14 at-bats, and he has a .071 batting average against them. Sam Huff has faced him 4 times. He's got 1 home run, 1 RBI. And then Willie Adames has faced him 5 times, and he's hitless. So, yeah.
I mean, Misby, technically speaking, if you throw 7 shutout innings, he can't lose. But he'll get a no decision. Splitting hairs here. But
Matos, I mean, hopefully Matos plays, but
shoulders all right.
Depends on that.
I mean, Springs, okay. Okay, Springs average this is like a Giants nightmare right here. Springs average fastball velo is 90.1 miles per hour.
All right.
He's first percentile fastball run value at -9.
That's the Giants' kryptonite, and it's a lefty.
Literally, he's got a crappy fastball. You know what this screams to me? This happened a few weeks ago. Giants are going to lose this game 2-1, and the only run they're going to score is a leadoff home run from Elliot Ramos. He's going to get some 90-mile-an-hour junk fastball that he's going to hit like 430 feet, and then the Giants' offense is going to do jack crap the rest of the day. I really hope I'm wrong, people. I'm just telling you.
The thing is like, I hope you're wrong, but it's hard not to laugh because it's so possible. Like, the probability of that is just insanely high. So,
yeah. No, it's
I think 7 punches on a 90-mile-per-hour heater.
That's brutal. Ziggy, I'm not 100% sure. Let's see his usage. Oh yeah, here it is right here. 42% four seam, 28% slider, 23% change.
We're gonna have. Where's Ricky at? I was gonna say we're gonna have Willie Adames popping up an 87-mile-per-hour four
Pop
seamer.
out Willie. Still love that. Still bring a broom. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, bring the broom.
Let's the sweep.
We
Anytime
like
you
the
sweep the A's.
we like to crack jokes, but yeah, we're going for the sweep, guys,
Yeah.
guys and gals.
I would expect this. Bailey will sit. Huff will probably get. It's a day game after a night game anyway. Like Bailey's not gonna play.
We'll get the start for sure.
So, but yeah, I think it's that time. We'll get this wrapped up. I appreciate everyone hopping in with us tonight. We have like 175 people hanging here today between X, YouTube.
Steady,
yeah, it's been a lot. Like I said earlier, if you guys do enjoy this stuff, please do hit that subscribe button. It's awesome. We're gonna do a giveaway, I think. Well, we're gonna do a giveaway for Ricky's stuff because his Instagram is almost to 3,000 followers. So
I was gonna mention that Ricky posted it on his Instagram, guys. So if you don't follow him already, follow him at sfgiantscove. He is doing a giveaway at 3K. We're all gonna kind of pitch in and contribute for that, but there's a couple options that it could be. But yeah, go ahead and get in on that. And then Cody's got his own.
Yeah, we'll be doing something at 1750 subs. And then again at 2K. So we're a little ways away from that. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing some. I don't know, we might do the hoodie or something.
Yeah, we can do the only thing is it's summertime now. So I'm like, if you guys want a shirt or something, maybe we can do that. But
yeah, let's just wait till 2K then for the hoodie.
Yeah. But regardless, we'll do something.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, I've got a couple baseballs. I found my Omar Vizquel ball finally. Kind of got ruined though, because it got signed by a couple randos.
I got a Joey Bart if you guys are interested.
It's Dan's prized possession.
It is. Keep it right.
I have a Bochy ball up there too. That one, I think that's gonna get saved for like some crazy thing like 10K.
I've got a few. I've got Panic, Crawford, Belt.
Yeah.
You name it. So maybe I'll throw one of those in.
But Bochy will have to do like he'll have to be like once he's in the Hall of Fame. Like it would have to be like a 10K giveaway or something like that. I've got who else do I got up there? I've got Bochy.
I was thinking of giving this away on a future one if you guys want to see it really quick, since you mentioned Hall of Fame. It's Willie McCovey Hall of Fame plaque signature. So
damn.
Maybe on a future one.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna have some good stuff down in the future at some point, but we're gonna wait till some of these cool milestones. But other than that, appreciate all y'all for hopping in here. If you're on X, make sure you jump over to YouTube, hit the sub button on there. But appreciate you guys. We will be back next week. I don't know. We try and do these either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night, just kind of depending on what time the games are and all that good stuff. So I haven't really looked ahead. Normal video, the minor league update, I'm planning for Tuesday still. I usually try and do either Tuesday or Wednesdays. I try to keep it on Tuesdays, but it kind of just depends on how fast I can get through it all. But other than that, appreciate all you guys, and we'll catch you next time.